guys, I'm Ahana and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to build your personal brand. If that sounds good to you, then keep on watching. Let's dive right in with what is a personal brand and why should I care? A personal brand is how people perceive me when I walk into a room or what people are saying about me when I'm not in a room. It's some combination of my personality, my behaviors, my experiences, my achievements, the way I carry myself. It's kind of just your vibe. The reason building a personal brand can be important, and not just necessarily in the startup space, is that it's something that sticks with you as you progress through your career, no matter what field you're in. Whether for better or for worse, humans are judgmental, and given that that's the case, it can often be advantageous to think about how you come across to other people. And in certain circumstances, having a personal brand can really add value to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So, where do you get started with building a personal brand? The first thing is just to be authentic and genuine. Be yourself. A pretty helpful exercise that you can do is you can actually write down on a piece of paper, what 3 words would you use to describe yourself? Then you can go to different people who are maybe parts of different facets of your life, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and ask them to describe you in 3 words. This can help you start to think about what does and doesn't define you equally based on some of the responses that you'll get. It can help you identify what actually matters to you and what your values are. For example, is there a certain descriptor that people have of you that makes you feel really happy and proud of yourself? And equally, are there things that people see about you that you don't see about yourself? Once you've nailed down some of your fundamental characteristics and the way that you're perceived and what matters to you and what doesn't, building your personal brand is really just all about acting in tandem with said beliefs and values. Now, if you've just started your career, how do you go about building a personal brand? There is no such thing as not having had experience. You may not have professional experience, but everyone has lived however long they've been alive, and through that has had learning opportunities and has grown and absorbed things from the world around them. All of those contribute to one's experience. And with professional experience, everyone has to start from somewhere. Everyone has a first job. It's totally normal if you feel like you haven't had the time to build up that track record. But remember, your professional achievements are just one part of your personal brand. So you can try to implement other experiences that you've gone through and other things that have shaped you as a person into the way that you carry yourself and into your personal brand. Now, what do you do if people seem to have a perception of you that you're not particularly fond of? Do you change it? Do you ignore it? Well, this is going to be different for every person. The way I deal with it is I look at from who that perception is coming from. If somebody that I respect or look up to or care about has a view of me that I'm not happy with, that's something that I take very seriously, and I would change the way I act or change the way that I come across in those situations and look at it as a part of my own personal growth. Change is inevitable, especially when you're learning things. If you have an agenda, such as you're trying to get a promotion, then the way that you are perceived by your manager or your boss, the person responsible for giving you that promotion, does matter. In that situation, you do need to think about how they perceive you. In my situation as a startup founder, my main stakeholders are my users, investors, brand partners, and for my company to succeed, it is important that they perceive Clear, and by extension, they perceive me in a way that I would want them to, and in a way that's positive for the company. Now, the last point I wanted to address is how do you go about really building a brand confidently? I know a lot of people say fake it till you make it, but I don't know if that's the best advice in the context of personal branding, given how crucial authenticity is. Confidence needs to come from within. The best way of building confidence from within is really just being honest with yourself about your strengths and your weaknesses, and sometimes even just rationalizing why you are the way that you are can be quite a helpful exercise. If you're aware of your own strengths and weaknesses, then it's unlikely that any part of your personal brand will surprise you or shock you because you've already come to terms with yourself as a person. I don't get asked so much about personal branding by founders, but it's something that I think actually matters quite a lot, especially for people building consumer brands or consumer companies. People are moving away from the marketing within companies, but actually becoming interested in the founders themselves. And as such, you have an added responsibility to carry yourself in a way that will reflect positively on your company. I've seen a lot of founders leverage social media with their personal branding really effectively, effectively. So that's all I really want to talk about in this video, and apologies for it being a bit rambly, but in my defense, I do currently actually have COVID, so I'm gonna blame it on COVID brain. But on the off chance that this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Alright, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.